William Nylander to the Anaheim Ducks would be insane. Mike Rupp said this on NHL Network last night.
And I think Willie Nylander, I'd love to see him get an opportunity to be the man somewhere. I think be a perfect fit as far as the age and to get someone to be in that role. I look to Anaheim. I think the Anaheim Ducks, they've got a boatload of young talent. Use some of those picks that you have at Anaheim, and I don't know what that deal exactly looks like, what would the asking price would be, but I do know that that player in this lineup with that talent would be incredible. Plus, we know Willie loves good weather and likes to, he likes that kind of lifestyle too. So I think California would be perfect for him.
I would love to have Nylander on the Ducks. A 40 goal scorer? The Ducks haven't had that since Corey Perry. But how is Nylander a perfect fit? He's 27. By the time the Ducks are ready to compete, he would be declining. Also, he supposedly wants $10 million a year, essentially pricing himself out of Toronto and making him one of the biggest trade targets this upcoming season. And while the Ducks have the cap space, even after signing Z and Jimmy, that amount of money will make things harder down the road when they have to pay all these young prospects coming up. That's not even mentioning that the Ducks would have to not be on his 10-team no-trade list, which, after last season, why wouldn't they be there? But let's pretend the Ducks are not on his no-trade list, or that Willie would waive his no-trade clause if they are. And Verbeek and Willie's camp come to a verbal agreement on an extension, which is the only way this trade will happen. So what would a trade look like? I've seen some weird trade proposals that look like a combination of first-round picks and a young prospect, particularly Pavel Mintyukov. Or heck, I've seen McTavish thrown in there too, which makes no sense because the Leafs are in win-now mode. And why would the Ducks, who are rebuilding, give up one of their top prospects? Which is why I think it's more likely Nylander stays the year in Toronto, even if he's not re-signed. Now, the only deal I think that could work is if it involved John Gibson somehow, as both him and Willie have similar salaries. The Leafs do need goaltending. They do have Samsonov, who was solid, but couldn't come to an agreement this offseason, letting an arbitrator decide his salary for this upcoming year. So with him being UFA at the end of the year, how confident are they in signing him again? So maybe a trade works out to something like Nylander, Samsonov, for Gibson, Henrique at 50% retained, plus throw in a pick, I'm not really thinking a first though, and a prospect, maybe Sasha Pastyukov, who's one of our best right-wing prospects. And I really only say Henrique because there's not much else the Leafs would want for a current player on the Ducks, besides the obvious Zegras and Terry. Nylander would immediately become the Ducks' best player, and a top line of him, Z, and Terry would be fun to watch. But really, if Nylander wants that $10 million a year deal, he's going to have to go to a bad team. So the Ducks could just sign him next offseason if they really wanted him, without giving up anything. So yes, it would be insane. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!